What's up, everyone? Adrian Morrison here. I'm excited to have you here. Welcome to the Profit Power Hour. Get my camera on. Okay, what's up? Couple of things to start. If you're new, welcome. Secondly, I'm going to keep tonight's webinar kind of short. Bear in mind, these are free webinars. I've been doing them since 2014, and rarely do I miss a webinar unless I'm sick or something's wrong with my son. And I almost skipped tonight's webinar just simply because me and Casey, my wife, both have some like mild food poisoning. Ate some uncooked food and didn't know it. Well, we knew it once we did it, but you expect food to be cooked, right, when you order it. So anyways, it's kind of made us sick. That being said, just I'm gonna keep tonight's webinar a little short and just touch on some things that we discussed last week. And I do apologize for that, but I feel up to doing it. I've been in bed all day actually, so I figured, hey, let's if I can do it and there's no excuse not to be on it. I'm gonna feel woozy whether I'm in the bed alone by myself laying down or doing this training. And I kind of I try to treat business like this. There's always a million excuses for why we can't do something, right? And we just need one reason why we should. And oftentimes when I'm not feeling well, unless I'm like really, really, really sick, I'll tell myself like, okay, I can lay around and be lazy and sulk in the fact that I feel terrible and accomplish nothing, or I can accomplish something but still feel terrible. Either way, I still feel like shit. You know what I'm saying? So like, that's and I end up getting a lot done. And then there, of course, there are times where I just have to tap out. So tonight's one of those in between times where I'm like, I'm gonna feel sick laying in the bed versus on here, but I am gonna keep it a little bit shorter tonight. But there's some things I wanted to go over with like ideas that I had for tonight that I want to share. So first and foremost, again, if you are new, I do these every Tuesday, 9 p.m. Eastern, and they're free, and they're just meat and potatoes trainings. Like, this is not a sales webinar. It's not a bait and switch. It's not, I don't have other people come on these webinars and try to sell you anything. Essentially, I've just been doing these free trainings for a decade, and so many people have benefited from them. So many people have, mentioned to me that they religiously get on my Profit Power Hours, and we've had some absolute bangers. Y'all got to also, you've got to see like my life over the last 10 years. Those of you that have been with us, actually 11 years, you've seen me go from 29 to 40, right? Big difference. And yeah, just you get to know me better, get to know who you're learning from and who you're following. And it's not a facade. It's not a let me put on this exciting show. I watch these. I live in Brickell, Miami, part-time. This is my condo. I own this place here. And I'm always down in Brickell, and I see all of these streamers. I'm sure you've seen all these streamers. They're IRL, in real life streamers. They just record and they walk around, and it's supposed to kind of feel like you are tagging along in their posse, if you will, you know, seeing how they get to live their life and the cool things that they do. But I see all of them. They're all over the place here, and many of them are really cool, really great, intelligent, smart entrepreneurs that are doing some cool stuff. And a lot of them are just, you know, what can I do that's going to get clicks, that's, you know, going to get views, that's going to be a viral moment, who can, you know, I basically harass, or what, you know, trouble can I cause in the streets just to get attention. And look, I respect the hustle. You know, they're trying to make money. But I guess the point that I'm trying to make is that is like entertainment. So a lot of times they're entertaining. So they're trying to figure out, what can I do to keep people watching? And it's a great business, and I have a lot of respect for the people that do that, because it's not easy. It takes a lot of effort. Not so much for the people that, you know, go harass random people on the street. You know, I'm not talking about interviewers, but some people are just like, you know, literally like, it's crazy. I mean, I love watching it. It's hilarious. But I sometimes feel bad for the people. That said, this is more or less the last 10 years. Y'all got to kind of follow me, connect with me, learn about me, my family, watch, you know, my business grow as you get to, you know, build and grow your business alongside. And, you know, these are, if you're new, like, they're chill. Sometimes I'm amped up and I'm really excited, and sometimes I'm sick, like I am right now. So my my vibe is a little off, you know. But mainly, look, the goal is just teach, just show you stuff and keep you going without the BS, without the entertainment. Sometimes they're more boring. Sometimes it's just like, I'm showing you real strategies and real products. And if you pay attention and you apply these things, you might see that some really cool stuff happens in your business. So last week, we talked about print on demand. And for those of you that don't know what print on demand is, it is a, you can go to my YouTube channel and watch last week's webinar. So this is my YouTube. And you just go to youtube.com/Adrian Morrison. And we used ChatGPT and AI to create this this pillow set for Valentine's Day of hearts. And I explained, like, okay, selling pillows sounds boring. And one of my very close friends, that's OG, started in e-com when I did. I would consider both of us, you know, well, many people would consider, you know, anyone that started in 2014 OG, but in reality, e-com has been around since like forever. My older brother was doing e-commerce in like 2006 or something. But like drop shipping, you know, really blew up in 2016, and I had started about 2014. And him and I were drop shipping pillow covers. And so this webinar is all about how we came up with this cool idea. And I say we, actually still, that's not true. He came up with this idea and he shared it with me, to sell pillowcases, and he was killing it. And he showed me a strategy, and his strategy was selling pillowcases as sets that had different, you know, different images on them. And the idea was, if you could get people to buy 4, you could create a $40 to $50 order, instead of just selling one product that might pull in $12 to $15. You're getting people to spend more money. So, you know, this is this is an actual pillow set right here that he shared with me, that I can't remember the exact numbers. And I mean, guys, this is really old. This pillow set, it probably could be reused now. You could literally just rip this off if you want to, like, go take the idea and you can recreate it. And notice the background is like the zigzags. It's not just a plain white pillow, so that's very easy to do. And it was targeted toward the archery niche. And if I recall, and I'm going to disclaim this because I don't, this is not going to be an accurate number because I don't remember the exact numbers, nor do I remember the profit margin. And this was his campaign, not my campaign. But he had done like anywhere between $15,000 and $20,000 in sales on this pillow set. But when he had shared it with me, and I believe he went on to do more, just targeting people into archery on Facebook, selling this pillow set. It was wild, right? And that's what really turned me on to it. And the other one was, let me see if I can still have it on the store. It's this demo store. So we got so many products on here. And you can see all the different types of pillows. Okay, here we go. This is another one that did roughly 6 figures, if I recall. And he's targeting DJs and is a pillow set that made a turntable. So you can just kind of see here, the pillow set looks like a turntable. Pretty cool. And notice it's not a white background. So when you're doing print on demand with these pillow covers, you can make the background and design whatever. And back then, like, we were having to pay designers to create this for us. AI didn't exist. So now, you know, it's so much easier to go in and get ideas and samples and mock-ups and all the stuff using AI and just targeting people that were into DJing and turntables and stuff. This, you know, was a massive campaign for him. Just, again, selling pillows. And all the print on demand companies for the most part do this. You know, Printify, Printful, T-Launch. This company I used was called Pillow Profits. I gave you all a link to them last week. They're a bit of an older app. They're not as, you know, their UI isn't as nice, but their prices are fire. So this was an example of one that did really well. And you'll just see, like, we've done so many demos on here. And then, you know, we're doing things like Proud Mom. And this would be an example of just selling one, right? I mean, no one wants to put Proud Mom on 4 pillows across their couch. So you really got to figure out how to take this and turn it into 4, right? How do I get Proud Mom on 4 pillows, or this idea across 4 pillows to get people to buy 4? And of course, this can go translate to other type of products, but what's unique about pillows is people generally buy either 2 or 4, right? Depending on the size of the couch or bed that they're putting them on. And so I had this idea when I was selling the pillows. I was very big in the wine niche. And so you'll always see lots of different wine products on my store. Like, this is an example of a shirt that we sold. And then there's another shirt that said WTF, and we put it on tumblers as well, which generally stands for what the, you know, but like in this sense, it says wine time finally. And we put on these wine tumblers, all print on demand things, right? And then we targeted people into wine, and people love their wine. I'm talking about, like, they're off work, they're pouring a glass of wine. They're sitting down with the girls, they're pouring a glass of wine. They're having a nice steak dinner, they're pouring a glass of wine. You know what I'm saying? So it did very, very well. And we discussed how I went to Shutterstock back in the day. Let me just pull Shutterstock up real quick. Okay. And I had an account here, still do. And I would type in wine spill. And actually wine spill art. Okay. And I found these like watercolor images that look like spilt wine. I think this is the one. And I purchased, you can buy the rights to images on here for marketing. And I found like 4 different variations of this. And I slapped it on some pillows, and it sold. Like, it did well, right? In the wine niche. And I was playing with Chat GPT earlier, and I just went into Chat GPT and I was like, okay, if I were today going to recreate this campaign, what would I do? So I opened up Chat GPT and I said, create a wine splatter image that is square and feels more like watercolor. And it gave me this beautiful image here. This is way nicer than the ones on Shutterstock. It's like, you know, this wine glass with the spilt wine, but it's very artistic. And it's okay, that's nice. First try, I've got a nice image. How many of you in here would agree this is a pretty nice looking image? You know, and if you don't know what this is at first glance, if you were to close your eyes and just open it, it would take you a minute to realize it's a wine glass with spilt wine. So it's very artistic, and it looks cool. So then I told ChatGPT, I prompted it, okay, amazing, I like the style. Give me 4 images similar to this that would go on a throw pillow that spells out WTF, like wine time finally. And why don't we use an upside down wine glass as the exclamation point, which it works kind of. I think a wine bottle would have been better, so we could mock that up. And this is the image that it gave us, right? Very nice. So like just like that, and with a couple of strokes of the keyboard, I've got a potential campaign, right? But I started playing with it a little bit more, and I said, what if we just made the letters out of wine glasses? And it failed. It didn't do a great job. I mean, it gave me what, it says that's a W, but it's not. Says that's a T, but it's not. And it gave me a weird looking F. So, epic fail. And I said, okay, now let's try using one as a mix of wine glasses and wine bottles. And so it's given me this. So, you have to work sometimes for this. So I can try to correct it and say, okay, so the only pillow that looks like a letter is the F. This is really bad. Make it just with wine bottles only, and have the letters made from wine bottles, and clearly make the real letters WTF. And then let's use a wine glass as let's see what it does. And so, I would come here to ChatGPT and I would start mocking up ideas. And even if I were to go have a real designer create this, it would take hours at best for them to do it, and only for me to say, oh, that sucks. Oh, no, I think I would like it to a different color, a different direction. It could take days. So with AI, we're able to go in and we're able to come up with ideas and bring them to fruition immediately. And that to me is just a game changer. I would have made so much additional money if I was able to do this years ago. This is now we're making progress. It still looks like trash, So based on the prompts and the way you talk to it, it can really refine things a bit. But then I could just say, you know what, scratch the whole WTF idea and give me 4 different pillows with the watercolor wine spill on it. Make it look very elegant. And you'll see here, it'll start creating. So with print on demand, you can get very artistic, complex ideas done using AI, but you also can create very simple images like I had on the Tumblr. And I don't want y'all to take from the series, oh, I need to sell pillows. Pillows was a niche market. Me and my buddy cornered. Pillows still do very well. And you can most certainly 1000% sell pillows these days. I'm just using these as an example because I like pillows or pillow covers because it's a reason to get people to buy a set. And our goal with e-commerce is to get people to have what's called a high average order value, AOV. And to do that, you need to get people to add more stuff to their shopping cart, right? So there's AOV, which explain AOV to me in terms of e-commerce, okay? And you can go to ChatGPT and ask you this. And AOV is the average order value, total revenue plus number of orders. So if you make $5,000 in sales off 100 orders, your AOV is $50. And what our goal is, when running, and I did a whole series on this, maybe it was a year ago. I had this, I called it the AOV multiplier. I took my average order value from roughly like $15 to $80, meaning the average, cart value on my store when shoppers were shopping was about $80 opposed to 15, which means I'm making significantly more per customer that purchases on my store. And this was one of the strategies I used to do it. I started finding products that I could sell that people would buy the set of instead of just the one. Instead of one pillow, buy the set of pillows, right? Instead of just buying this pair of shoes, buy the matching set, like the purse and the yoga pants, so on and so forth. And so I was able to get my AOV up, right? And that meant that my ads were more profitable if my cost for the traffic stayed the same, but my order values went up. That means theoretically I'm making more profit, right? That said, there's also LTV. Okay, and LTV is lifetime value of a customer, which brings in what I've been talking about the last couple of weeks, the importance of delivering quickly. That's why I suggest apps like Shine On and the vendors that I've shared with you, like Zendrop and Pillow Profits. Even it has an express shipping line where they ship very quickly. It's really, really important that you get the customers their product quickly, and it's a nice product, so they come back. Because when people come back, not only is their average order value going to increase because they're going to trust you and they're going to spend more money, but the LTV of your customer is going to increase, of your average customer. So that's the lifetime value of your average customer. So, you want that LTV as high as possible, meaning they come back and they spend more money and more money and more money over time because they know they're going to get a good product and they know they're going to get it quickly. And that's because you got good products from good vendors that ship fast. Zendrop, Shine On, some of these other vendors that we've recommended. And it does it's really necessary to do all this math and stuff, but it shows you examples of LTVs. So, when we're playing with projects like this, which this still sucks, we need to dig in and play with the prompts a bit more. Ultimately, really the first one I did, I think is the best. If I was to choose one, this is the one that I would sell. I think this is a very sellable set right here to the right audience. And going on TikTok and Meta platforms, it's very easy to target people that are wine lovers. Like there's plenty of interest that you could target for that. And we're going to get more into doing this and using AI and building cool print on demand designs, because yes, you're going to start selling. This is like what we did last week. You're going to start selling products like from Zendrop that are one-off viral products, right? So that's definitely going to happen. That's a lot of what we put on your store, even with Shine On. They're one-off products like a necklace, a watch, and they're very, thing about those is they have great margins tied in. And we'll talk about Chinese New Year next week, because we're gonna, this also pivoting right now. I'm starting to teach print on demand. This time of the year, I always start teaching print on demand, because Chinese New Year, if you're using any factories in China at all, you know, they shut down for like 2 weeks. So a lot of China dropship companies only, they kind of quit doing business for like 2-3 weeks. Whereas I always just kept running business as usual, because I did a lot of print on demand. But yeah, these are great products, but they segue in the print on demand. Like if you're selling any of these, and we'll look at some more of these next week, of these trending products, like let's say, I don't know what's trending right now. I haven't looked at this list in a week or two. My internet looks like it's running kind of slow. But let's just say that you sell, I'm just looking, there's a wine product, there's always wine products trending. Okay, let's say that you start selling this grooming cat toy, okay? Or whatever, this toy, but a cat groomer. Now we have an audience of people interested in cats. And we know that people that have cats love the cat memes, the cat sayings, da 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 da. And so I know that if I'm selling this, I have an audience locked in of people interested in what? Cats. They're probably cat owners. And so instead of drop shipping, selling more drop ship products to them with lower margins that are like, you know, the one-offs, what I'll do is I'll start doing a little bit of research on, say, Etsy, and like funny cat t-shirts or hoodies or whatever. And I'll kind of use my Etsy sneak attack, which is finding like hot products on Etsy and then using them as, you know, to fuel more my own original ideas. But like this shirt right here, it's got the cat all over it, this little cat that's, you know, in the whatever, Kitty Biscuits Bakery, you need them, you need them. So all of these are great ideas. And essentially I could take screenshots of these, put these in, you know, AI and say, make something similar to this with this saying, but it needs to look different and original. If you don't want to rip off anyone's artwork, like that is, you know, you get in trouble for that. Let me just say, like, what is the law on different on percent difference? Your image needs to be from another image in the commerce genome or space. See if it'll tell me. Okay, here's straight up. There's no legal percentage difference rule in copyright and trademark law, 0, not 10, not 30, not 51. That's the myth, just won't die. Instead, the law uses qualitative tests, not math. Copyright images with the lags. Courts look whether your work is substantially similar to the protected elements. Does not automatically make it safe. The core visual experts is recognizable. So like think of the Nike sign. When you see the Nike symbol, like that check, you know it's Nike. So if there was a similar check, that person could get in trouble, because when you look at that check, you think Nike. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, there's lots of information that you could look at here. At one point, you know, I was reading about your image needs to be X% different than another image. And that one's very, very hard to figure out. Looks like ChatGPT says that's BS. And here it says fair use of link routers don't need to prove intent. You know, so takedowns happen fast. So if you go rip someone's artwork off, like it is really, you know, easy to get a DMCA takedown, which is why you want a very unique image. And it's not that like the words necessarily are bad, it's the image. Like words, you can't really, in some unique cases you can, but own words, you know, like the hold on, I see a cat. Like kind of hard to say nobody else could use that. You know what I'm saying? So you can use like the words and the sayings and things like that most of the time pretty safely. And you just want to make sure your images are just very different. Where if we're looking at this shirt right here, we're not saying, okay, this shirt looks just like the shirt that I made, but this one is blue instead of green. Like that would get you in serious trouble. So it's okay to take inspiration from ideas. Don't rip them off. You know what I'm saying? It needs to look very different. And Chat GPT and AI are capable of going in and saying, hey, use this as inspiration, but it needs to look totally different type of cat, totally different way the words and design is on the shirt, a totally different vibe. But my Etsy sneak attack always gives me great ideas. So I guess the point I was trying to make though isn't go like steal people's designs, because that's wrong and it's happened to me a gazillion times and it sucks, and you don't want to do that to other people. And of course you can get takedowns from that, but you know, inspiration is fine. But my point is that, you know, print on demand is incredible. It's a huge industry. I personally have sold a lot of print on demand products, like an immense amount, more than I could count. And it's always US vendors that ship worldwide ultra fast. So it doesn't matter if it's Chinese New Year or whatever. So I know that if I've sold a lot of these cat toys from Zendrop or whatever, I know how to target people that have cats. I have an email list of cat owners. Now I could do some print on demand stuff and start trying to figure out what things I could say, what t-shirts, what hoodies, what wine tumblers, what LED signs, what necklaces with cat sayings on them, whatever, you know. What can I start selling them that will ship fast? And that's where print on demand comes in. That's how I elevate my customers. I start them with a small product like this. It's $2.86. Let's just say I sell 10 to 20,000 of these at, you know, $10 out the door. Well, this actually, the shipping, the cost is crazy. So, but just for hypotheticals, let's say I sell it for 10 bucks and I sell 10,000 of them. Now I have a list of 10,000 people on my email list that I know have cats, and I've got a retargeting list on Meta that I could use and TikTok. So now I can start pushing like print on demand style funny cat things to them, and likely start seeing sales, you know, if my designs are good and resonate with that audience, right? And I'm not just selling them more, you know, drop shipping stuff. Well, drop shipping like, you know, physical products. So somehow I got feeling better while I was talking, and I still went 30 plus minutes. That's crazy, because I really was feeling like complete shit when I hit, you know, go live. So thank you for taking my mind off feeling, you know, woozy. So hopefully this webinar still ended up good for you. We'll talk more about this moving forward. Yeah, I just wanted you to learn a little bit about print on demand, how we get people to their average order values up, the importance of doing good business so the lifetime value of a customer is higher, and then getting inspiration using, you know, things like Etsy. I call them Etsy sneak attack, because you can go look at the shirts and see which ones have the most reviews and the sales and which ideas are the best. But then, you know, translating that inspiration into something original, using a designer or AI, one of the two. Okay. So I will see you next week, same place, same time, right here on the Profit Power Hour. Thank you all, everybody that's in. You hope I feel better. Casey's actually, you know, about the same as me, but we're good. We haven't been like, you know, super sick. It's just been more of like, you know, just feeling off and uneasy throughout the day. I think we're past any of the potential, you know, like real like foodborne illness things that happen. We fortunately did not have to go through any of that, which would suck. But yeah, we're both just kind of get our systems back in check. So I thank you all for the love and support. I'll see you next week, same place, same time, right here on the Profit Power Hour. Sorry tonight I wasn't feeling at my best. Tomorrow, hopefully, or next week, hopefully, I come back with your typical energy from your boy. Okay, I'll see you next week. Have a great week. Launch some print on demand products, and I hope that you crush it. Good night, y'all.